Thank you. This section on traumatic brain injury helped me immensely. As you'll read in the book, it was in my earlier days in practice where people were coming in with growth hormone deficiency and bringing their kids in with growth hormone deficiency and saying that, oh, it must be genetic. And I was doing a preparation for a presentation on neuroendocrinology, neuropsychobiology, really. And I came across one article which basically stated in Turkey, I think it was, that all their boxers had growth hormone, selectively growth hormone deficiency. Well, I take care of professional boxers who had horrible hormone levels, and the bell went off, the epiphany occurred, and I realized that maybe there was another cause for the deficiency because not everybody that were in sports had head contact or perceptively head contact, or all my patients had some kind of head injury that would account for why their hormones were deficient. So I put that one article on the side and then got finished with whatever and came back, and it became a passion for the last 4 years because it answers a question which has now gone into the sports world with ESPN, having done a project with them, with Impact, which is throughout the schools. How many junior high school students in the United States have a form of traumatic brain injury that sends them into the hospital? Does anybody have any idea? No? In 2006, there were 46,000 children who ended up in the hospital. And I'll show you some data by the WHO and CDC on the millions of people that have head trauma that are walking around with 1, 2, 3 hormonal deficiencies. And this became a very personalized issue because at 4 years of age, I had head trauma. No, it wasn't my mom hitting me upside the head, but I was out in New York playing in the snow on a jungle gym monkey bar. And at that age of young of 4, I didn't know about the physics about when you jump forward, you have to go vertical in order to get distance. And there's rungs up there, so I hit the rung and ended up passed out with injury. And one head trauma doesn't account for immediate, in the majority of us, loss of hormones. There's an accumulation of issues, as you'll see in this presentation, that can add to it. You know, simple things like bumping into people. And traumatic brain injury is a leading cause for a diverse group of hormonal deficiencies. And it can occur mildly, moderately, or severely. And it affects the psychological, physiological, and physical functioning. In assessing every one of your patients, regardless of why they say they're coming in, you need to have them fill out a traumatic brain injury questionnaire. It's in the book. There's an update of it. And you document it. Because when you have all that documentation and then you get the hormone results and you see, whoa, they've got 3 hormone deficiencies. Mine were growth hormone, testosterone, and thyroid. And number 1 is growth hormone. Number 2 is testosterone. Number 3 is thyroid. Number 4 is cortisol. So I spared 1. So it can be a single significant injury, or it can be over years an accumulation of minor injuries that culminate into hormonal deficiency. And when you're doing inventory of this, you want to find out if they loss of consciousness, Glasgow, obviously, if they went into the hospital. Did they go into the hospital? Did they go into the emergency room? To get a metering of the intensity of the injury. You know, how many of us remember when we were 2, walking, falling, and hitting our head, and our moms kissing us, picking us up and kissing us on our kepi? You know, there are a lot of injuries that happen that we don't remember. But the major ones, like auto accident or a fall or being hit on the head, those we might remember unless we have retrograde amnesia. And this is a copy of the questionnaire. This is 2007. There's a new one out. And it assesses all the things that are associated with a form of traumatic brain injury. Anything that pulls the stalk of the pituitary. And what are you laughing about? Oh, roller coasters, centrifugal force, going to, what's that place? Magic Mountain, thank you, Magic Mountain. You go up and then you drop and you stop, 12 inches from the ground. The brain in the calvarium has been pulled up, the pituitary is stuck in the fossa and stretches it. Or how about Sheehan's? We think of Sheehan syndrome as being absolute. Woman's delivering and all of a sudden loses all her hormones. Well, I have a new doc in my office, OBGYN, and this is what we discuss is the possibility that there's a gray area where you don't have to have absolute loss of all the hormones, but you can have selectively a hormone deficiency precipitated by a form of Sheehan's. So motor vehicle accidents with coup-counter-coup, which means that you do not have to hit anything inside the vehicle. You can just be hit from behind, thrown forward and back in the traditional coup-counter-coup. Don't have to touch anything. You can fall and catch yourself, and that movement is enough to cause traumatic brain injury. Subtle, but cumulative. Boxing, martial arts, wrestling, football, slip and fall, blunt trauma, shaken baby syndrome, sudden drop with sudden stop like Magic Mountain, rotation, revolution, not that revolution, the other one, roller coaster rides. Let's see, this one, anterior hypopituitarism following traumatic brain injury. And this was at a time when the football world was refuting the relationship between brain trauma. And part of the reason is because even in the emergency rooms, when they assess someone from head trauma, they never do any of the testing to document it, to document the biochemical alterations